Hey folks, my name is Burton Ishmael, and I'm the front of house mixer for the 12th Carat tour. The artist is Mr. Post Malone. Welcome to front of house. This is where the front of house audio is being controlled. I'd like to take you for a quick little tour of what's around me. Obviously we have here the heart of it all, the mixing console, and this is an Avid 6L. I've got some outboard gear that is patched all into here to make the final sound, and I've got quite a collection on this side and this side. These are my favorite toys over the years that I've found to be the things that I've liked to use in my mixing. I have on this side a master chain, and on this side I've got a vocal chain as well as a parallel chain and some character coloring and parallel chain also for the entire music. All right, so a little about how the whole process happens. As far as the mix process, we have Pro Tools that talks to this console. It's a seamless thing going on. However, the manufacturers made it to be. I'm able to record the show track for track here and have a recording of it, and then I can afterwards come back and do balances or do tweaks or whatever the case is. So that happens between this computer and this console, and it's track for track, channel for channel. Going through there, the processing. On the vocal, I have the 500 series set up, right? And I first start with de-essing, then I do some filtering, and after the filtering, then I do some compression, which is first at the peak stage is just to tame the peaks. If you follow Post's live shows, he gets so excited sometimes, and he just bursts out in this big scream, and it's almost 20 dBs from where he's singing. So just to be able to control those high peaks and just to balance it out, and I'm using the West Audio for that. And then one of my favorite pieces in this piece in the rack here is the Shadow Hills Optograph. And those of you that do know what that does. It's a really nice sounding piece, one of my favorites. Actually, probably my favorite in the entire rack. And then that goes now to some additive EQ at the end, and then some saturation using the character from Alicia. And then that is now paralleled into a Purple Audio 1176 style again, which I crushed the life out of, and I try to get it down there, but Mr. Malone gets it all the way to -20, and that's really impressive. I like what it does when it gets down there. And then that's brought up again by another Moog EQ, and then finally over another process again into the character, then over into the de-essing unit again. So that's pretty much his vocal chain. And I love it. It works out great. Otherwise to that, in this rack also, I have the Alicia, the envelope, which I use on the drums to just add back the transients and the punch and to really focus wherever I want it to hit. Being in the live environment, you've got all of this reverberance to deal with, that transients and making things like really pronounced is one of the things you really want to do, because it maintains the the original sonic signature of things. So a lot of things could get washed out in the environment. So a unit like this, the envelope, helps to bring back the punch, the drums, and I love it on there. And then I have another favorite, the 33609 Neve that I use. Those of you that follow Mr. Andrew Sheps, he's got his back bus compression technique, and that's one of the techniques I really, really love, and I really admire him sharing that little thing with the world, right? And I use that also in the live, using the same technique, using the Neve sound. And then finally on the master chain, I call this the magic section. I don't know what Manley does here with their tubes, but it's just magic. Right? Just like the Alicia magic, Manley has their magic too. Really, if the first massive passive, I just turn it on, and just to put it in the chain, and it does something that I can't explain. It just does its thing naturally. So there's no additive or subtractive anything going on there. It's just it being there. Like it's just in the midst of it, and it just livens up the party. That's what that does. Another favorite piece is the Verimu with the T-Mod, and that was Darius talked me into getting that. He goes, hey man, you know, like if you're gonna do it, just do it all the way. And I went all the way, no regrets there. But that's fully decked out, fully loaded, and love that piece. And then of course the Moog. You know, the Moog does what it does. That the subharmonic stuff and all of that, and the air band, beautiful, great stuff, you know, and it just adds, you know, when you go through compression and you're trying to build density and all of that stuff, sometimes you know, you darken your mix and all of that stuff and you have to bring it back to life. That does it. And finally, it goes through a limiter, and I use an analog limiter, which is the Better Maker, and the Better Maker does the limiting. I do the soft clipping in there with the clipper that's in there, which is an amazing piece of technology that's going on, and then some harmonics on the high end if it gets too harsh, and that completes the master chain. Everything now is clocked, right, at 96K on the Antelope, the 10MX, and that's doing that. And then finally, the system processing, besides the overall system processing done by my systems engineer, I have a lake here on my end that I can do my little tweaks and tonal shaping and so forth. And that's done by a LM44. Otherwise to that, we have an Arturia here, Fuse 8, and that's what I use to tune the room, tune the sound system, and that's got 8 channels, and then we use 4 test microphones across there with a program called Smart, and that's basically what we have here. I do have my trusted Audis, or Audise, you know, the way you want to say it. The mix was done in there. Also, I've also built this mix on Focal's Solo 6 as well, another fine product from Sweetwater, and the ATC 20s, I believe the ASLs, if I said that right. The gear guy is Darius, not me. I just listen. But the entire show is done on those monitors. Otherwise to that, that's pretty much what's happening in Control Center here in a nutshell. Little about the rig, you probably can't see it right now, but we do have a deployment of about 192 speaker elements. It's all a line array deployment. There's 4 hangs on each side of 16 top boxes and 40 subs altogether. So it's quite a system that I have here. It's a lot of fun, great music, you know, great environment to be in, and I'm really thankful to God for this opportunity, you know, to be able to do this. And I encourage those of you that are following, you know, keep working hard, keep at it. You need gear, Sweetwater's the place, you know? And Darius and I were talking this morning, and we were talking about, you know, things that keep you in this industry. And if I can share this with the world, talent will get you in the door, character will keep you there, right? And then we talked about the three great words that I love: diligence, consistency, and gratitude. And diligence helps you, you know, when you're diligent, you work hard, and you know, you pursue and you develop and you invest. And you know, once you get in that position, being consistent, right, will keep you there. Being consistent at your work and keep doing well and keeping things where it needs to be, that'll keep you there. And gratitude, the more thankful you are, that is going to increase where you're at. So take that little nugget and little advice, run with it, do your best, all right, and see where it goes. And that's it in a nutshell. You're looking at all of this great gear here, and I want you to know that it came from one source, and that is Sweetwater, all right? And my awesome salesperson, Darius Beats, has helped wire all of this through the years, and you know, his service, and you know, him helping me, you know, just to test things out and try things out, you know, his recommendations and so forth has gone a long way, and this is the final outcome for the 12 Carat tour.